Average. How you doing, Danny?
Pretty good.
All right.
Thanks for interviewing with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Because of this project, I know that you're in a class called Communication in the Interview. Are you a communications major?
I am comm studies major, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your minor?
I don't have a minor. I originally was a coaching minor when my original school, which was UMD, and it wasn't provided here at River Falls.
Okay.
So I chose that minor because I still coach high school hockey, high school baseball as well. So it was just a decent fit for me at the time. Not offered here, so no minor.
Okay. Why did you choose this class specifically in the comms major?
This interviewing, this class, kind of like a roundabout long ordeal. I have all my requirements for graduating. This is only my first year here.
Oh,
I only
okay.
needed a select amount of classes, but the university requires you to have 30 credits minimum from University of Falls. I was at 28, so I needed to add a class just to hit my minimal requirement. So this was the class that I added because Jen's my advisor. She's the head of our department, and she was teaching it. I wanted to take a class with Jen. So.
Okay. So you chose it just because you needed graduation requirements?
Mostly, yeah. I realized that, I was going to be going out looking for jobs, getting into the job market right away after graduation. So it seemed like a practical class to have and to work on interviewing skills such as this. So it was something that I didn't just randomly take. Like there was a little bit of, practicality to it, like I said.
Did you already take a class like that at UMD? So,
I did. It was called professional communication.
Okay.
And it was mostly the same thing. Like we had to do mock interviews like this with classmates, except it was in class setting. Like it was still recorded just like this, except you had all your peers watching you.
Oh, geez.
And it was just you and someone else in the front of the room.
Oh
and you're going back and forth interviewing like this. Yeah, so it was really just not enjoyable, really kind of awkward for most people. So
it's a lot of
I got to
pressure
do
to
it.
be under.
It is, yeah. So I prefer this actually, yeah.
Definitely. So you were a communications major at UMD.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that was
And
my
then-
original decision. Yep.
Okay. So what made you want to be a communications major at all?
I started off at Century College. It's a 2-year. I got my associates there, so I just did my gen eds at Century, and I wasn't sure really what I was going to go into. I didn't put a lot of thought into it when I was doing that. I just wanted to get my gen eds done, and I got to Duluth, and during registration, the counselors asked me the same thing, like, "Well, what are you thinking about doing?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm not real sure. This is my interest. These are my interests." And they're like, "Well, let's put you in this class. It's called Career Exploration. It's for people who are kind of research certain majors, see which you're gonna want to get into." And even at the end of that class, I still wasn't really sold on what I wanted to do. And I remember the professors that were teaching it. There was two teachers for it. They just kept repeating throughout the year, like if you're not sure, a good general major that covers a lot of things is comm studies, communications. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of a fit out of indecisiveness, kind of. So
Gotcha.
That's how I ended up as a comms major.
All right. So you went to Century and then Duluth and then River Falls.
Correct, yes.
What made you choose Duluth and then transfer to River Falls?
Right.
So there's some flooding in Duluth.
Yeah, so I started in Duluth. I was moving into a new house with some friends, and I was living in the basement of that house. And there was that flood in Duluth. I had all my belongings. I wasn't living there that summer. I was living in the Twin Cities in Stillwater. So the place flooded out. I had a carpeted room. Anyways, they never told the landlord, these kids that I was living with. So when I moved up the week of school starting, I couldn't live in my room. So they had to tear out the carpet, redo, because there was mold. Mm-hmm. And so I was just kind of couch hopping on every other person's, each night I was staying at somebody else's house. And, people, they're pretty hospitable when they have guests, so I was probably drinking a little bit more than I should have. And I didn't go to class like the whole first 3 weeks or first month of school, so I just decided that I withdrew at that point before that I was going to leave on my own terms before they kicked me out. And so I moved back home, started working full time, started building up some capital, then to get back in school again. And I moved out here 2 years ago in May, so it was a good kind of halfway point between where my folks live and where River Falls is, between Stillwater and RF. Hudson's a good, so it was just a natural fit to go to RF. I kind of always considered it because my dad graduated from River Falls. He played basketball, baseball for these guys, so it was something that I kind of always thought would have worked out after dropping out, I guess.
Yeah.
But I always just joke around with my friends. I say I left on my own terms.
Yeah, so you did. Let's see. So now that I guess your freshman experience at River Falls wasn't really a freshman experience. It was a transfer experience. Do you feel like, I guess you could tell me about what your first year was like at Century. That was kind of your freshman year.
Right. I wasn't really nervous about starting college. I didn't have a very high image, or I didn't think a whole lot positively about Century. I kind of saw it for what it was. It's a cheap community college that I was just going to put in my time, do my generals, and then move on. And my freshman experience there was just not fun. It was a lot of weekends just watching TV with the dad and staying cooped up. So after 2 years of that, I moved to Duluth where I was on my own for the first time. And I wasn't living on campus. I had my own house right away, living with some friends. And it really just let loose, kind of. Really went a little too wild, had a little bit too much fun. But I didn't have that same freshman, sophomore experience that all my other friends had that I knew was going on, because like I said, I'd visit them every once in a while.
Right.
So, yeah, made some bad choices, but I always kind of had the mindset that if you're going to go to school for school, do that fully, focus on school. If you're there to party, then party as hard as you can. So it's either one or the other. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the mindset I had.
Gotcha. How do you think you've grown or changed since maybe that first semester at Duluth, or even the beginning in that Century?
Ooh.
You were just kind of talking about the mindset, even maybe how that's changed.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, growing as a person, I definitely had to learn the hard way a lot about pre-planning and, prioritizing things, getting stuff done ahead of time so you're not procrastinating. Everybody kind of goes through that, I think. I think probably the biggest change that really has occurred since between now and then is I'm probably more understanding, more tolerable of other people's opinions, other people's viewpoints. Kind of as a kid, I was just really narrow-minded, really stubborn. It was just kind of my way was the way. And now I think that I get along a little bit better and kind of converse a little bit better with people just through, like I said, being more accepting or understanding that that's going to occur with anybody at any time. So.
Right. Are you still friends with some of those people from high school and even early college?
Yeah. I really all my friends. I mean, even my roommate. I think all the friends that I actually consider my close friends, best friends, are from high school.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends that I still talk to from Duluth. Just like I said, those really select 3 or 4 people. Everybody else is really kind of, more of acquaintances. But yeah, all my high school friends, because I played hockey, baseball in high school, so I had that kind of group, that close tie. And and I still, like I said, hang out. I play softball Sunday, Tuesdays with a lot of the same guys that I played baseball with. Hockey, same thing. That's still my group of friends, still the people that I hang out with. But again, it's only like probably 5 or 6 actual close friends, like anybody else. So.
Right. So this is kind of getting a little deeper, but what has been the most challenging part of being a college student? You've had multiple experiences.
Yeah, for me, it's just probably staying persistent and having foresight, because you're not getting any immediate benefits from college. You know, you're in school for me, it's been a lot. I've taken breaks, a couple of years, but you're not actually getting any kickbacks right away. It's an investment for the future, and it kind of gets frustrating to stay patient with that, because there's a lot of debt, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of times where you're asking yourself, is this worth it? Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said, the most difficult part is staying persistent and kind of maintaining focus. That's probably my answer for that.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. What has been the most enjoyable part of being a college student?
The most enjoyable part is not having to have a job yet, not actually working. I'm not a morning person at all, so I don't like those 8 a.m. get-ups and get going. So I really enjoy, having most of the days to myself. Class for a few hours, that's fine. The most enjoyable, I guess I'd say the most enjoyable part is the schedule. It's a real relaxed, real non-stressful way to live currently. Mm-hmm. And I'd say I'm probably hold off as long as I can before I gotta jump into the job market. So.
Oh yeah.
But
definitely. What would you say were the best and worst decisions that you've made as a college student?
Best decision I made was, I'd say probably getting my generals done at a cheap expense at Century. Mm-hmm. That was a good decision, getting my associates there. Duluth was a lot of fun. It was a good fit initially, but I wasn't mature enough to handle it. The best decision I made was, not sounding tacky, but coming here. This was a really good fit. It's the environment, the people, the atmosphere, all that. It's a lot different than Duluth. People actually hold the door for you here. That's something that you don't see at any other college.
Oh, really?
Honestly, from where I've been around, and that's just one weird example that you wouldn't consider otherwise. But it says a lot about the type of people that go to school here, and how kind of close this community is. River Falls is pretty unique in that regard. Like I said, I've partied at a lot of different schools, been in a lot of different places, and River Falls probably is one of the more friendlier schools in the metro.
Interesting. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it's the truth. I'm not just saying that. Like, it is. So.
So are you graduating in May?
Yeah.
This May.
Yeah.
Okay. So next week.
So next week. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Do you have any advice for incoming college students? That's our last question.
Our last question. Any incoming advice? I would say it's probably not the best advice, but it's like I was saying earlier, if you're going to school for school, then don't get caught up in all the extracurriculars, all the drinking, all the partying, because that's just the road you don't want to go down. But I don't think that there's a problem with going to school to have that fun experience as well. And if that is your mindset, if that's why you're going to college is to have fun, then make sure that you actually have a lot of fun. Make sure you actually get memories out of it, because school is stressful. School is a lot of work, and it can kind of taint, I'd say, some of those experiences if you get too wrapped up in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you build it up more than it really is, if you psych yourself out, then it's not going to be as fun for you as it potentially could be.
Right.
So I'd say that's, like I said, not the best advice, but advice particularly from my experience,
Sure.
from what I've gone through. And like I said, it's been a long, long, windy road. So, how much? Where are we at? We're good. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that
No
journey
problem.
with me
Yeah,
and interviewing
no
with me.
problem, man, Danny. Yeah, glad to talk with you.